I came to find out about X39 from my mom, who loves me, like you said, cares very much about me being well and whole and happy. So my testimony is two things. One, that just my whole life, I really struggled with being just exhausted. I would go from just being like, great, fine. I mean, I was an athlete, I did gymnastics, but I would just crash. And my mom took me to multiple doctors, and every time they'd be like, oh, tests look fine. But I'm talking about fatigue. I was telling her that, Charity, that I would literally shake like an elderly person. My hands would just shake all the time. I also was an artist, and I had to teach myself to put my palm down on the table and draw with my fingers. And I took 6 years of art classes that way. Everybody in my life always saw me as like, oh, there's Melissa. She's always happy. She's always great. But they didn't know my secret was that I knew exactly how much energy I had for that day. And I would go home and hibernate. I don't go to ladies' functions. I wouldn't go out to the mall with people. I can't even remember the last time I went to the mall. And so everybody thought, oh, Melissa's just fantastic. But inside, I would be literally physically shaking, and my bones would be burning. And I just got tired of going to doctors and gave up on that because I didn't want to hear one more time that they couldn't find anything. And so I'm 47, so I spent like, almost 30 years, more than 30 years like that. And my mom knew that about me. She would see me, she would know that when the day was done, it was all I had and I was done. And my husband would say, you always fall asleep on the couch. So since I've been using the patches, I can actually, after work, go out with a friend, a ladies group, or take the kids. We went all to a Christmas lights thing that was on a Monday night, and I would have never, after an 8.5 hour day of work, gone to a Christmas light special until 9:30 at night. Absolutely not. So I was so ecstatic to be able to do that and still feel okay the next day. And so that was amazing. And then the first effect I felt from the patches was I have enormous boys. My children are all 19, 24, and 27, and they are 6'4", 220-pound, giant size 15 shoe boys. And after I had them, as you ladies know, I could not sneeze. And if you don't know what that means, guys, ask your wife or your mom. She can explain that to you. And so one day, about a week into using the patches, I sneezed and I was like, I'm okay. And so I thought, well, that's just a fluke. And then a couple of days later, it happened again. And I told my husband, I said, I can sneeze. And he just laughed at me. He thinks that's hilarious. And Charity, do we have time to say just a little bit about my husband? Do you want me to say something about that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So speaking of my husband, he was in the military for 21 years. When he got out, he said, I'm just going to kick dirt for a while. And he actually did struggle with PTSD. But he worked very hard to do the things he needed to do for that, to overcome that. And however, he got COVID about 2 years ago, and it damaged his pancreas and some of his organs. And he went into ketoacidosis because he had sudden onset of diabetes. And if you see him with your eyes, is a fit man. He's not overweight at all. He can jump up and run the obstacle course, whatever he wants to do. And he was in the hospital in ICU. They told me about 6 hours from dying when he went in. And so he got out of the hospital with having to take 4 shots of insulin a day, and was just devastated because he, still young, 47 years old at that time. Well, he changed his diet, and, we've really worked hard on that. And he decided he wanted to go back to police work because for 15 years, he was a police officer for the military, taught SWAT level classes for the military. And he said, I'm going to go back to my passion. And we were looking for something to help him. And this was right at the time my mom told me about these patches. And I thought, well, let's stick them on you. So of course I stuck them on him first before I stuck them on myself, because that's how we are. We love our loved ones. And I just want to say he is now not having to take any insulin at all. Yeah, he has his diabetes completely under control. He has become a police officer, and he's working nights, and he has the energy to keep up with the 27 and 29-year-olds that just came out of boot camp. Matter of fact, he ran the obstacle course, and he was like, I think he was second at the obstacle course at 49 years old. So
Wow.
yeah, he's amazing. So it's just really given us a second chance on life. And I feel younger. I feel like I look younger than I've looked in years because I don't feel exhausted. I don't look exhausted. I notice my skin glows more than ever. Well, it literally is, just feels like a new lease on life. And I'm about to have my first grandbaby. One of my son's wives is pregnant, and I'm going to have the energy to chase him or her around. We don't know what it is yet. So I'm so excited.